Ladies and gentlemen, this is Intervlog. I say this is Intervlog, and I am here once more. I am here because there is one important information that I brought to you today, and this information is unbelievable. I say it is unbelievable because this is the first time ever in history something like this has happened in Africa. We have never seen anything like this in Africa. And you would ask me, what is that? Well, if you do not know, there is something happening in Burkina Faso. And that thing is a good thing. And it had never happened in any country before. And you would ask me, what is that again? Well, on July 2nd, 2024, the Pan-African movement leaders, they are majority women, visited Burkina Faso. These are Africans in diaspora and Africans in Africa. They are a combine of Black Americans, Jamaicans, Haitians, Nigerians, South Africans, Canadians, Europeans, different Africans from different countries around the world that formed a group called Pan-African Movement. This group is a tough group, and they support any good thing happening in Africa. They came to Ouagadougou on 2nd July 2024. And the reason of their coming is that they have seen a new king emerging from Africa. They said they have sat down, watched Ibrahim Traoré, view him from many, many angles, and found out that he is the new African leader. And they came to give him the support, and to greet him and to appreciate his good work. The transitional president of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, is not alone in his fight for the sovereignty of this Sahelian country. On Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024, the head of the military junta in power in Burkina received the support of the Pan-African movement. Indeed, Captain Ibrahim Traoré received an audience on Tuesday with the Pan-African movement Africa and the Diaspora. In Africa, there is a growing spirit of Pan-Africanism and political consciousness that is driving a movement for decolonization. Salifou Mak speaks on his experience in Burkina Faso and the changing political conditions in the country. As anti-imperialist sentiment gains momentum in Africa, the alliance of Sahelian states has demonstrated a clear resolve to reclaim sovereignty from foreign powers. The backlash against Western presence, and French presence in particular, has ignited a broader conversation about the future of foreign intervention and the true path to self-determination for African nations. Yet, while AFRICOM and Western military forces are being pushed out of the Sahel by people's movements, we see a much different relationship elsewhere on the continent, taking note in particular of the ongoing close coordination between the U.S. and Botswana Defense Forces, as well as the U.S. and Kenya Defense Forces, even as they are illegitimately deployed against their own civil society. With Kenya as a current poster child, we observe that in Africa, there are hundreds of political parties that do not serve the interests of African people. These parties serve as middlemen between imperialism and the masses of the people. But even in more convoluted or reactionary political environments, there is always pushback. In tandem with the events in the Sahel, the ongoing events signal a rising Pan-African consciousness that seeks to dismantle the remnants of colonialism and resist new forms of imperialist control. AFRICOM Watch Bulletin spoke with Salifou Mak, who is a high school English and history teacher, music lover, and sparkling water connoisseur. He is also a member of the Black Alliance for Peace and the All African People's Revolutionary Party, and an organizer with the Low Country Action Committee in the Low Country of South Carolina. AFRICOM Watch Bulletin. You recently spent time on the ground in Burkina Faso during or shortly after the uprisings that led to the backlash against the French colonialists. Did you feel that this was just another military coup in Africa, or that this was different, and why? Salifou Mak. Even before arriving in Burkina Faso, it was quite clear to me that the character of this coup was different from what is commonly associated with coups in Africa. My comrades on the ground at the Thomas Sankara Center for African Liberation and Unity had been reporting for months prior about the sentiment that had been emanating from the masses. During my time in Burkina Faso, it was quite clear to me that the movements of the Traoré administration have been in direct response to, and many cases, in lockstep with the demands of the people of Burkina Faso. While many coups in Africa are a top-down imposition of the will of a few strongmen, moves in Burkina Faso, such as the ejection of the French military, embassies, and certain NGO and media properties, were demands originally spurring from the grassroots. The military coup led by Captain Ibrahim Traoré just provided the muscle to move those demands into reality. This is quite different from the January 2022 coup that preceded Traoré, led by Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba. That coup administration was deeply unpopular with the masses and lasted only 8 months. Often in Western circles, it is easy to discuss the African masses as people who lack discernment. But the reaction to Damiba contrasted against the positive reaction to Traoré should be enough proof to demonstrate that people in Burkina Faso are using sound reasoning and discernment skills to determine what is in their best interests. According to them, they have never in the history seen a leader like Ibrahim Traoré. The way he commences, and the way he is going. They said, "This is the first time a leader has been in office and never thought of himself." After watching this news and seeing what the leaders have said, I become surprised. The reason I'm surprised is not because of everybody talking about Ibrahim Traoré, but the type of joy Ibrahim Traoré gives to some people is unbelievable. Here we are not talking only about Africans. No. We are also talking about Europeans because 5 days ago, if you can remember, 10 ambassadors from different parts of the world, but the majority of them are from Europe, came to give Ibrahim Traoré their support. They also said the same, that this is the first time they are witnessing what is happening in Burkina Faso, that they have never witnessed anything like this before. Both in Europe, in America, in Asia, in Australia, and everywhere around the world, that this is the first time a young leader came into office and never thought about enjoyment. The only leader in Africa currently who does not want to spend money unnecessarily because he's the leader who saves every penny that comes into his hand. And by proving it is by not buying Toyota Land Cruiser SUV and share it with his colleagues. Instead, he used the money to buy tractors and began to share it with the villages, asking everybody to go and farm. And the result is amazing because right now, many farmers in Burkina Faso have now started learning mechanized farming, driving tractors here and there, being happy in their farming, living a new life entirely. Even the farmers live happier than the people in the government because the farmers have new vehicles, which is tractors. But the people who work with the government, they don't have new vehicles because Ibrahim Traoré told them that, "If you want to work with me, come with your own private vehicle because you receive salary." The same Ibrahim Traoré as well has not bought any personal vehicle for himself. He is still driving his 1991 Land Rover Defender up to today. And this is why everybody is loving him, because when you check around the world, you see the leaders, especially in Africa. You look at the leaders, the way they are going to Japan to be buying Toyota Land Cruiser, buying up to 1,000 pieces, and be sharing it among their politicians. Do you know one funny thing? Some of these leaders who come up and say that their economy is going down, that no more food in the country, that everybody is suffering. Why shouldn't everybody suffer when you have used your money to go and procure Toyota Land Cruiser 2024 model, 1,000 pieces? Everything is caused by you. Look at what Ibrahim Traoré did, not spending money unnecessarily. Instead of buying Toyota Land Cruiser, he used the money to buy tractors and send everybody to farm. And this is the first time it is happening in history. Now everybody is trooping him to Burkina Faso to greet him, to thank him. Is that not beautiful? This is the type of leader the whole world needs. For your country to be nice, You need a leader like Ibrahim Traoré. For your country to be productive, you need a leader like Ibrahim Traoré. Because he only thinks about his people, and everybody has noticed him, including the Pan-African movement. Well, I stop here. Thank you very much for watching. And this is Intervlog, and this is the type of leader everybody needs. Thank you.